So how did a player with seemingly no power become one of the greatest hitters of all time? In an era of sluggers and home run kings, one Tony Gwynn.
Number 19, Tony Gwynn.
With just 135 home runs in 20 seasons, dominated Major League Baseball. Think of today's best hitters. Names like Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani might come to mind.
Judge crushes it to left field.
Power hitters who crush bombs, but Gwynn's approach was drastically different. His .338 career batting average and 3,141 hits stand in stark contrast to his mere 135 home runs over 2 decades. While today's stars often strike out well over 100 times a season, sometimes into the 200s, Gwynn never exceeded 40 strikeouts in a single year. Gwynn's precision-based style defied the norms of the steroid era. How did he achieve such success without power? Tony Gwynn's success wasn't just about natural talent. It was rooted in an obsessive attention to detail that bordered on scientific, and hey, specifically with something that us fans today take for granted. His approach to hitting was meticulous, innovative, and years ahead of its time. In 1983, long before advanced analytics became the norm, Gwynn began using video analysis to study his swing and opposing pitchers. In 1983, Gwynn was in the middle of a rare slump. He called his wife at home to tell her to tape his at-bats. He said, quote, "Just hit the record button whenever I come up to the plate. When I got home and looked at it, I saw right away what I was doing. I couldn't wait to get to the ballpark and correct it. Took me 15 swings, hit .333 the rest of the year." Gwynn ended up investing $100,000 of his own money into video equipment that he shared with his teammates. This forward-thinking approach gave him an edge that few others in the game possessed. Gwynn's philosophy was simple yet profound. He famously stated, quote, "The game is 90% mental. The rest I leave to my bat." This mindset set him apart from his contemporaries who relied heavily on physical prowess. While others were focused on muscling the ball over the fence, Gwynn was dissecting pitchers' tendencies, identifying patterns, and exploiting weaknesses using video analytics. His ability to use the entire field made him a nightmare for opposing defenses. Gwynn excelled at hitting to the opposite field, particularly between third base and shortstop, a zone he affectionately dubbed the 5.5 hole. The 1994 season, though shortened by a strike, showcased his hitting prowess.
Tony Gwynn is now batting .404. Home run for Tony.
In spectacular fashion. He finished the year with a .394 batting average, tantalizingly close to the hallowed 400 mark that hasn't been achieved since Ted Williams in 1941. What set Gwynn apart was his exceptional ability to track pitches and anticipate what was coming. He had a 20/10 eyesight, extremely close to the perfect eyesight of what I just learned was 28. Gwynn was methodically dissecting pitchers and racking up hits. His consistency was staggering. He maintained a career average of .338 over 2 decades. In many ways, Gwynn was a precursor to the analytics-driven approach that dominates modern baseball. His innovative use of video analysis, his focus on specific hitting zones, and his ability to adapt to different pitching strategies all foreshadowed the data-driven techniques used by today's players and coaches. Like we said, where power hitters dominate headlines today and launch angles and exit velocity reign supreme, a handful of players are channeling Tony Gwynn's spirit. Luis Arraez has drawn comparisons to Gwynn for his high batting average and contact hitting skills. Like Gwynn, Arraez excels at putting the ball in play and using the entire field, making him a difficult out for opposing pitchers. These type of players' successes raise questions about the true value of batting average in today's game. While many teams prioritize OPS, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, players like Arraez demonstrate that there's still room for a Gwynn-like approach. The ongoing debate about the value of contact hitting versus power hitting in modern baseball often references Gwynn's success as a counterpoint to the power-heavy approach. Astros third baseman Alex Bregman once said, "If I wanted to hit 300, I'd hit 300," illustrating the modern focus on OPS rather than batting average. Yet with shorter base paths and changing rules, perhaps the pendulum is swinging back towards a more balanced approach. Gwynn famously said, quote, "Video doesn't lie," emphasizing the importance of visual feedback in refining hitting technique. And it's worth noting that during his career, Gwynn finished in the top 10 for batting average in 15 consecutive seasons. The level of consistency is something that modern contact hitters can't even imagine as they navigate a game that has changed significantly since Gwynn's era. Tony Gwynn's prowess at the plate, though, didn't materialize overnight. Long before he was frustrating pitchers in the major leagues, a young Tony was honing his skills that would serve him well beyond the baseball diamond. Growing up in Long Beach, California, Gwynn was exposed to a diverse community that valued both athletics and education. Gwynn grew up in a family where sports were a way of life. His brother Chris also played in the major leagues. But it wasn't just baseball that shaped young Tony's athletic prowess. He excelled in multiple sports, particularly basketball, where he played point guard in college. Gwynn's father was a truck driver, and while his father instilled in him a strong work ethic and sense of discipline, Gwynn's mother played an equally important role in his development. She encouraged both academic and athletic pursuits, which may have influenced his post-playing career. After hanging up his cleats, Gwynn returned to his alma mater, San Diego State University, as the head baseball coach. Gwynn's coaching philosophy mirrored his approach as a player, emphasizing fundamentals, work ethic, and a comprehensive understanding of the game. His transition from a player to coach allowed him to pass on his hitting techniques and preparation methods to a new generation of athletes. Gwynn's impact on the game continued in the broadcast booth as well. As a color commentator for Padres broadcasts, he brought unique insights that only a player of his caliber would be able to provide. He broke down the nuances of hitting and in-game strategy, sharing his baseball IQ with a wider audience. His charisma and knowledge made him a fan favorite in this role, further cementing his status as a beloved figure in the sport. In 2007, Gwynn received the ultimate recognition for his contributions to baseball with his induction into the Hall of Fame. His speech reflected the humility that had characterized his entire career. Rather than focusing on personal achievements, Gwynn expressed gratitude for those who had helped him along the way and emphasized the importance of hard work and dedication. The baseball community was deeply affected by Gwynn's health struggles and his eventual passing in 2014. His fight against cancer and his advocacy work left a huge impact on efforts to reduce tobacco use in the sport. Many players and fans were moved by Gwynn's openness about his health challenges and his determination to use his experience to help others. Gwynn's legacy lives on in various ways within the baseball world. The stadium at San Diego State University now bears his name, Tony Gwynn Stadium, a fitting tribute to his contributions both as a player and a coach. The Tony Gwynn Classic, a college baseball tournament, further cements his importance to the sport at the collegiate level. In San Diego, Gwynn's presence is still strongly felt. A statue of him stands outside Petco Park, home of the Padres, symbolizing his importance not just as a player, but as a person who embodies the spirit of the game. Tony Gwynn's career achievements are extraordinary. With 8 National League batting titles, 15 All-Star selections, and a .338 career batting average, Gwynn's impact on baseball is undeniable. His induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2007, receiving 97.6% of the votes, cemented his status as one of the game's greats. His meticulous approach to hitting and preparation left a mark on modern baseball strategy and player development. His pioneering use of video analysis and focus on pitch recognition foreshadowed the data-driven techniques used by today's players and coaches. Quote, "Video doesn't lie," Gwynn famously said. His success, without relying on power, continues to challenge our understanding of what makes a great hitter. In an era dominated by home runs and strikeouts, his legacy serves as a reminder that precision, consistency, and baseball IQ can outshine raw power.
If you want something out of this game, you got to put the work in.